Have you ever wondered how some people seem to bounce back from adversity stronger than before? Indeed, it's a fascinating observation, isn't it? Some individuals appear to have this uncanny ability to weather the most formidable storms life throws their way, emerging not just unbroken, but remarkably even stronger. This, my friends, is the power of resilience, the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. It's the capacity to adapt well in the face of adversity, trauma, or significant sources of stress. Resilience is not merely surviving, but thriving amidst challenges. But how does one cultivate such resilience? Enter discipline, the rigorous training that corrects, molds, and perfects the mental faculties or moral character. Discipline isn't about self-punishment or deprivation. Rather, it's about understanding our impulses, harnessing them and directing them towards a purpose. It's the cornerstone of self-control, the driver of consistent action, and the catalyst for growth. However, resilience and discipline aren't born overnight. They're cultivated, nurtured, and honed over time. They are like muscles. The more you exercise them, the stronger they become. But we need guidance, a framework perhaps, to cultivate these qualities. This is where Stoicism enters the scene. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers a practical guide for developing resilience and discipline. It teaches us to embrace challenges, to see adversity not as a roadblock, but as an opportunity for growth. To illustrate, consider the story of James Stockdale, a US Navy Vice Admiral who was a prisoner of war for 7 long years during the Vietnam War. Despite the unimaginable hardships, Stockdale remained unbroken. He credited his survival and resilience to the principles of Stoicism, which he had studied prior to his capture. This real-life anecdote exemplifies how Stoicism can cultivate an unwavering resilience and discipline. So, when we marvel at the resilience of people who bounce back stronger from adversity, remember this: their secret weapon might very well be Stoicism. The key to their resilience lies in the ancient philosophy known as Stoicism. Stoicism, a philosophy born in ancient Greece, is more relevant today than ever. Imagine a school of thought that teaches you to accept the world as it is, rather than how you wish it to be. That's Stoicism in a nutshell. It's about recognizing the difference between what's in your control and what's not, and focusing your energy where it truly counts. Picture this. You're stuck in traffic on your way to an important meeting. You can feel the frustration bubbling up, your knuckles turning white on the steering wheel. But here's the thing. You can't control the traffic, no matter how much you wish to. What you can control, however, is your reaction to the situation. You can choose to let the frustration consume you, or you can choose to accept it, put on some calming music, and make the most of this unexpected downtime. Stoicism teaches us that the only thing we truly have control over is ourselves, our actions, our reactions, and our perceptions. It's about understanding that the world will not always conform to our desires, and that's okay. It's about finding peace in the face of adversity and harnessing the power of acceptance to cultivate resilience. Moreover, Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions. It's a common misconception that Stoics are emotionless, detached from the world. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Stoicism is about understanding our emotions, acknowledging them, and not letting them dictate our actions. It's about learning to respond rather than react. For instance, if you're feeling angry or upset, instead of lashing out or bottling up these feelings, Stoicism encourages us to ask ourselves, why am I feeling this way? What led to this emotion? How can I use this understanding to better respond to the situation? Stoicism is about taking a step back, observing our emotional landscape, and using this understanding as a tool for resilience and discipline. It's about accepting the ebb and flow of life and learning to navigate it with grace, composure, and a sense of inner peace. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotions, but about understanding them and using them as tools for resilience and discipline. Resilience is not something we are born with, it's a muscle that needs to be exercised and strengthened. The philosophy of Stoicism provides us with the tools to do just that. It encourages us to accept the world as it is, not as we wish it to be, to understand that we cannot control everything around us, but we can control how we react to it. Consider the story of James Stockdale, a United States Navy Vice Admiral and aviator awarded the Medal of Honor in the Vietnam War. During the war, Stockdale was captured and held as a prisoner for over 7 years. Throughout this ordeal, he relied heavily on the teachings of the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus. Epictetus taught that we don't control external events, but we do control our response to them. Stockdale credited his survival and mental resilience to these principles. In the face of immense adversity, Stockdale didn't just survive, he thrived. He used his time in captivity to strengthen his resilience, to practice patience, acceptance, and inner strength. He developed a clandestine communication system to boost morale and provide solace to his fellow prisoners. He turned a desperate situation into an opportunity for personal growth and leadership. Essentially, Stoicism teaches us to focus on our responses to life's challenges rather than the challenges themselves. It's about understanding that we have the power to build our resilience, to strengthen our mental fortitude. Stoicism encourages us to view obstacles not as setbacks but as opportunities for growth. It pushes us to see adversity as a chance to practice patience, acceptance, and fortitude, to see each difficulty as a chance to exercise our resilience muscle. The Stoics' journey is not one of avoidance, but one of acceptance and transformation. It's about taking the raw materials of life, the good, the bad, and the indifferent, and transforming them into a life of wisdom, tranquility, and resilience. So remember, when life throws a curveball your way, you have the power to stand tall, to stay calm, and to persevere. You have the power to choose your response, to exercise your resilience muscle, and to grow stronger through the experience. Resilience, like any skill, can be developed and honed with practice and perseverance. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. This statement rings true in every life situation, and Stoicism provides a solid foundation for cultivating such discipline. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism is not just about enduring hardship with a stiff upper lip. It's a practical, day-to-day guide to living a disciplined life. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control, our actions, our responses, our attitudes, and let go of what we can't. This ability to focus our energy where it can have the most impact is a key aspect of discipline. Let's take a real-life example to illustrate this point. Consider the life of Admiral James Stockdale, a former vice presidential candidate who was a prisoner of war in Vietnam for over 7 years. Stockdale credits Stoicism, specifically the writings of Epictetus, for helping him endure his captivity. He focused on what was within his control, his mind, his attitude, his response to his circumstances. Despite facing severe physical and psychological torture, Stockdale maintained the discipline to keep his mind sharp, his spirit unbroken, and his hope alive. Stoicism helped Stockdale realize that even in the bleakest of circumstances, he had the power to choose his response. This realization is the essence of discipline. Discipline is not about forcing ourselves to do things we dislike or denying ourselves pleasures. It's about making conscious choices, aligning our actions with our values, and staying committed to our goals no matter the obstacles. Stoicism offers us a way to cultivate this kind of discipline. It encourages us to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. It teaches us to detach ourselves from external circumstances and focus on our internal responses. It prompts us to question our impulses, to reflect on our actions, and to strive for self-improvement. Stoicism doesn't promise an easy journey. It requires commitment, effort, and yes, discipline. But the rewards, resilience, inner peace, and a sense of purpose are well worth the effort. Stoicism teaches us that discipline is about making the right choices, even when they are the hardest ones. Stoicism is not just a philosophy, it's a way of life. It's a lens through which we view our world and a guide for how we interact with it. Stoicism has the power to shape our character, mold our attitudes, and influence our actions. It teaches us to be resilient in the face of adversity, disciplined in our pursuits, and content with what we have. To fully appreciate the transformative power of Stoicism, let's consider the story of James. James was a man of many talents, but his life was riddled with chaos. His professional life was a roller coaster of highs and lows, and his personal life was no different. He was constantly stressed, always chasing after something, and never content with his present circumstances. It was a vicious cycle that seemed never-ending. Then one day James stumbled upon Stoicism. He was intrigued by its principles and decided to incorporate them into his life. He began to view challenges not as burdens but as opportunities for growth. He started to value discipline over fleeting pleasures. He learned to focus on what was within his control and let go of what wasn't. He learned to find contentment in the present moment and to appreciate the simple joys of life. The transformation was astounding. James found a sense of peace and stability he had never experienced before. His approach to work became more focused and efficient, and his relationships improved. He was no longer a slave to his circumstances, but a master of his own life. This is the power of Stoicism. It's not about suppressing emotions or denying reality. It's about understanding our place in the world, recognizing what we can and can't control, and finding peace within that understanding. It's about learning to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and equanimity. Stoicism doesn't promise a life free of challenges, but it does offer the tools to face those challenges with strength, dignity, and wisdom. It encourages us to live in accordance with nature, to be true to ourselves, and to strive for virtue above all else. Stoicism is a powerful tool for personal growth and development. It's a philosophy that empowers us to rise and thrive, no matter what life throws our way. So how do we cultivate Stoicism in our lives? Well, the first step is to understand that Stoicism is not about suppressing our emotions, but rather about managing them. It's about acknowledging our feelings, but not letting them control our actions. We can do this by practicing mindfulness and self-reflection. Take some time each day to sit quietly and observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. This will help you to distinguish between your emotional reactions and your rational responses. Next, start incorporating Stoic principles into your daily routine. For example, practice the principle of amor fati, or love of fate. This means accepting whatever happens in life, good or bad, as necessary and beneficial to your growth. It's about learning to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for development. Now let's look at a real-life example. Consider the story of James Stockdale, a former United States Navy Vice Admiral and aviator who was held captive during the Vietnam War for over 7 years. Despite the harsh conditions, Stockdale managed to maintain his mental resilience by applying Stoic principles. He accepted his situation and used it as an opportunity to strengthen his character. He focused on what he could control, his reactions and attitudes, and let go of what he couldn't, his captivity. Stockdale's story is a powerful reminder that Stoicism can be a valuable tool in the face of adversity. But remember, Stoicism is not a quick fix. It's a lifelong commitment to self-improvement and personal growth. It requires patience, persistence, and practice. Finally, maintain an open mind. Stoicism is a philosophy, not a set of rigid rules. It's about finding what works for you and applying it in a way that aligns with your personal values and beliefs. So, start small. Begin by incorporating 1 or 2 Stoic practices into your daily routine. Reflect on your progress and adjust your approach as needed. And remember, it's okay to make mistakes. They're just another opportunity for growth. Stoicism is a journey, not a destination, and every journey begins with a single step. On this journey of Stoicism, you are not alone. In every corner of the globe, from the bustling cities to the quiet rural landscapes, there are those who walk this path with you. They are the Stoics, a growing community of individuals who, like you, are striving to cultivate resilience and discipline in their lives. This global community is a melting pot of experiences, perspectives, and wisdom. It's a collective testament to the power of Stoic principles, and it holds an ocean of support for those who choose to dive in. There's an enormous value in this shared journey. You see, Stoicism isn't just about personal growth, it's about growing together, learning from one another, and using this knowledge to navigate the challenges that life throws our way. In this community, you'll find people from all walks of life. There are those who have been practicing Stoicism for decades, their lives a testament to the power of Stoic principles. And there are those who have just set foot on this path, their experiences fresh, their perspectives unique. This diversity is the community's strength. Because Stoicism isn't a one-size-fits-all philosophy. It's a journey that's shaped by our individual experiences and perspectives. And so each member of the Stoic community brings something unique to the table. Their experiences, their triumphs, their struggles, they all add to the collective wisdom of the group. So reach out, learn from others, share your journey. The Stoic community is not just a support system, it's a living, breathing library of wisdom. It's a place where you can draw strength from the experiences of others and in turn contribute your own wisdom to the group. Remember, the path to resilience and discipline is not a solitary one. We are all in this together. So as you continue on your Stoic journey, remember that you are not alone. You are part of a global community that is here to support you, to learn with you, and to grow with you. Together we can cultivate the discipline and resilience that will make us unstoppable. Let's wrap up our journey into Stoicism. We've explored a world of wisdom and self-control, where resilience and discipline stand as twin pillars. Stoicism, as we've discovered, is not a mere philosophical concept. It's a practical guide to life, a compass for navigating through the tumultuous seas of uncertainty and change. The principles of Stoicism teach us to accept what we cannot change, to take control of what we can, and to discern the difference between the two. It's our shield against the storms of life, our sail when the winds of change blow. We've also delved into the profound impact of Stoicism on resilience and discipline. It builds an inner fortress, making us impervious to external disturbances and equipping us with the willpower to stay the course, no matter how challenging. And finally, we've seen how to incorporate Stoicism into our daily lives. With practice, patience, and persistence, we can cultivate a Stoic mindset, turning obstacles into opportunities, setbacks into stepping stones. Embrace Stoicism, cultivate discipline, and let your resilience be unstoppable.